Cheers! Hi, I'm Lucy from Real Fans Club, and I've decided to vlog on the Real Housewives of New York City. So, without further ado, let's get chatting. I've taken some notes, so you will see me glancing over because I just won't remember everything. So it opens up with Luann. I called it Luann and Natalie Cole Meet and Invite. All right. How many of you guys think that that's the first time they were meeting and she just happened to say, "Oh, Natalie, if you're still in town, I'm having this party and it's my 1 year anniversary with my boyfriend and, if you want to drop by, that would just be great." And Natalie Cole says, "Oh, yeah, I think I could do that. And, oh, I think I could sing a song. And, oh, you have to sing with me." Come on. Just come on. I don't know. Sometimes it's just a little too much for me. Yes, I think Luann was thrilled. I think Luann did a great job because I think she was thrilled. I just don't think it was quite all a huge surprise. It just doesn't make sense. She is a star. She's not just going to pop on a boat and sing for somebody that she's just met. It's hard enough to get stars to do that for their friends. So that was just completely far-fetched. It was kind of funny, though. I liked it when Natalie said, "Definitely have to practice." I found that interesting. Natalie kind of knew what she was dealing with. So I was also, didn't you love the producer? Far Out. That guy, whatever. I have to have another sip for Far Out. He just kept saying Far Out. That must be his thing. He doesn't look that old that he has to keep using the Far Out. So whatever. He must think that that's pretty cool. So that's my thoughts on the whole Natalie and, oh, surprise. So then we go off to Ramona's dinner party. Okie dokie. Ramona's dinner party. The whole children discussion. Wow. Mario is definitely finished with having children. Come on. Did y'all pick that up? I picked that up. Avery and the period conversation. I didn't find that so delightful. I'm not really sure, I know I've kind of caught on that Avery has gotten to be closer friends with Alex and probably even Simon, I guess. But wow. I can see why Ramona was blushing. Mario handled it pretty well for his daughter going on. I know my husband would have just been like, he just would have done that to my daughter. It would have just been like, alrighty. I do kind of find it strange, these parents that have to have such conversations with their children. That wouldn't, I don't care how old my kids are, but they wouldn't be brought into a conversation about having kids. That's between, me and my husband. So anyways, I just found that a bit much. Alrighty. Alex takes the Luann call, and Luann invites her to the 1 year anniversary party. Luann accepts, claiming it was the fun Luann. We've been hearing through the years that there's this Luann perception on TV, and then there's this fun Luann, and they like the fun Luann, and they're kind of over the Countess Luann. I do understand that, but it was clearly the end of the season party, and I think that us viewers can handle knowing that. So, Alex having to accept, we get it, but them having to come up with reasons because they're just no longer friends, you know, we get it. We're all adults. And if they're making it to be a reality show, I think that Bravo has to just kind of say it's the end of the season. They get together. This is how we end it. They have, a dinner. Whatever. So Alex makes a big deal about excusing herself from the table. You notice she won't say that she's at a dinner with Ramona and Sonia. Sorry, I was drawing a blank. And then I love the way she said, I'm with a ton of people. No, you're just at a dinner party. I gotta go. I'm at a dinner party. There's a ton of people. I think Alex sometimes does like to make herself feel a little bit more important. She might not use the word class, but whatever. I did love the fact that Sonia was crying and cracking and saying, well, at least you took it away from the table, as it looked like she was tweeting, not, I don't know for sure, but it did look like she was tweeting at the table. That drives me nuts. I just don't understand why people can't put their phones away at a table. So it was kind of funny that Sonia was cracking, although what Sonia was doing didn't compare to what Cindy did. I mean, I know that what she was talking about was what Cindy did at, that breakfast from hell. And I agree, when you get a phone call, you definitely take it away from the table. And she was just doing something quiet with her phone. But still, I just don't get people, with their phones anymore. So then we go over to Alex's photo shoot. Alrighty. Alex needs to do something with her face. I understand everybody gets some adult acne from time to time, and you have to wear makeup and all, but makeup should only enhance your beauty. And if you're having skin problems, then, she needs Proactive, or, she needs to take care of her skin problem anyway. So, but anyways, back to the photo shoot. The photo shoot. Oh my gosh. I don't know what the deal is with Alex and Simon, but that is bad. A husband showing up disgruntled, wanting the shoot to move along. Bad. That's just bad business. I mean, I unfortunately worked somewhere where the bosses had to call them a woman, and it was an uncomfortable situation, but they had to tell her that, the husband had to stop calling her so much at work or she could lose her job. Simon was completely inappropriate. I don't care what Alex says. I don't care what Simon tries to say. You don't show up. I don't care how frustrated he was. They could talk about that privately after the shoot's over and say, we have the sitter, we've got to work this out, honey. But for him to show a frustration at a job could ruin things for Alex, because her reputation's on the line. People talk within the industry, and the photographer could say, oh my God, she brings her husband, he's a pain in the ass if we're running late, he sits there and makes remarks. That's hard for her to get hired down the road. And she's no young chicken, so she needs to take what jobs she can get. Alrighty. Oh, Sonia and Cindy. Oh my gosh, those two ladies, they need to give it up. I have to have a drink. They just can't see eye to eye. Really, on anything. I don't know why they tried to even hash out what happened at breakfast. I wasn't quite sure what Cindy expected. Cindy was clearly wrong. I mean, you don't go to someone's home and take a half-hour conference call or 20-minute or whatever. Her claim that, oh, well, I thought you were my friend and thought, you'd be okay with it. I have friends, and if they came to a breakfast that I was cooking for them and they shushed me and they brought their assistant and they, I would be offended too. And not even to go into another room. I did like the ending though, because after they're fighting and they're both just, Sonia loves to throw out the word Churchill and, lords and, whatever. And that just makes Cindy get upset because Cindy's thinking, oh my God, you just think you're so high and mighty. And then Cindy likes to be like, kind of like Vicky, I work, and I'm quite the businesswoman, and I'm very successful. And that was that dig of, I'm successful. I don't have a, judgment against me, and you're kind of having some serious business problems. So they were kind of digging each other. But the ultimate was how they treat their personnel. And Cindy kind of cracks me up because she was the one that was rude to her assistant. I mean, Sonia was handing the assistant the silverware, not knowing if she was supposed to feed the poor girl. And Cindy was the one that was kind of treating the girl like dirt. Like, she doesn't eat. What, like, just treat her like she's not here. So I really thought Cindy's the one that treats her assistants like dirt. I mean, who calls an employee to come? I know I'm going back to an episode, but who calls an employee to come babysit your kids? I mean, come on, Cindy. That's not what you hire people to do. Hello, I'm at lunch with my parents, grandparents, but you got to come and take my kid. Yeah, no. I think Cindy is the one who has trouble there. Cindy, of course, does what Cindy does best. She runs out. And I don't like that about anybody. If you can't handle it, then don't start the conversation. Okay. Ramona and Sonia. Oh, I wrote down an incredibly odd scene. You know which one I'm talking. Ramona comes in, and she looks all pale, and she whips up and shows her girls, as everybody likes to call them. All I wrote down was, I really think that Ramona had a breast job. And I think that that's the whole reason for the pretend pregnancy. I think that Ramona doesn't want anyone to really know that she had a breast job. So she thinks that if she kind of plays up this whole pregnancy scare, and then she can talk about her boobs being big, then says there's no pregnancy, then people won't pay so much attention. And I think it's a weird scam, but I personally think that's what it is. She was pale, she looked under the weather, kind of how you feel after a surgery. I think she couldn't drink because she was on pain meds, and I think Sonia played along. I think she had a good friend in Sonia, because I think Sonia really should have, an intelligent person would have said, menopause first before, she's 54. Most people are not going to go to pregnancy for a 54-year-old woman. They're just not, So, did you notice Kelly doesn't show up until 20 minutes into the show? And it's only entering the boat, mumbling. Really, I didn't even bother to rewind to figure out what it's her and Cindy walking onto the boat, and they're both mumbling, and they both have mumbling problems. I mean, I've noticed that. So, and Jill's first appearance on the finale episode is at 30:17. According to my marker, I'm sure everybody's marker is a little bit different. But I just thought that was kind of interesting for Jill Zarin not to show up in the show until 30:17. And, she didn't really say much. It was kind of hi to Luann. And then you see Alex and Simon. They enter the boat. They go to Alex promising, not to throw Luann overboard. So that you're still getting that vibe that basically Alex was just there because she had to be there. It was the ending of the season, They're not friends. They're just not friends. No big deal, Jill has to make her little comments about, she's hoping for the party to be an engagement party because, that's Jill. They've been dating for a year. But, of course, she still has to get her dig in.